Hello everyone, so in this lecture we will be writing a custom script. So first we are going to do is build out a ping sweeper script, and it's going to be pretty basic and simple. So before we get our writing script, we need to learn about how to narrow down the result. So first let's narrow down the result. Now we need to ping an IP address within our system. So in this picture, as you can see, that there is a response from that address, and then pressing Ctrl plus C will cancel the ultimate response. And there is another way that we can do is we want to send one packet to C whether it's allowed or not, and we can do this by adding a -C1 behind the ping command, and this is a count of 1 and it allows the terminal to send one packet. For instance, if we say 10, and it will send 10 packets and it will appear in the terminal, and this makes sense. So now we are going to put the command into a text file, and with the command shown in this picture beside, we can just get the text file and it will show the same result as previously. So now we want to narrow down the result and what you want to extract from here. So in this example, I am interested in the return IP address that has a valid response. So if we ping a non-valid IP address, then there is a no response from the address, and the difference is, as you can see in here. What's the difference? When we get back to the response back, it will see a 64-bit byte from the valid IP address and vice versa. And later, if we are doing a sweep to the network, then we will be able to narrow down the result. So then we are going to narrow down on specifically on 64 byte. So we will be adding the pipeline, which is this one. This is called pipeline. Behind the cat dot I behind after this and behind this, and the pipeline symbol allow us to add additional command. Then we will be using a command called grep, which is going to grab any line from the specific word that you specify in this command. So in this picture, you can see that you will be able to notice with the grep that the terminal only shows the line that only contains 64 bytes. So this proves that we have archived a response to the ping. So we want to extract the IP address from the line that we obtained. So now what we do is we narrow down some more, and this is a tool called cut, and then what you can do is, so in this picture we have a cut which is combined with -d, which is delimiter, and the delimiter is what we are going to be cutting on. So we are giving the delimiter of a space, which means that the space between the line will be removed. Then we have a field that we want to retrieve back from this cut, and the field for is chosen, which is the IP address. Thus this command will be cut or remove in the space between the line and retrieve the back to the field of 4. So if we try the IP address that we obtained in last command, then we have the colon, and in back of IP address that attached to it, we can ping it with this IP address due to the colon which is attached to the IP address. Therefore we actually need to remove it before performing ping sweep. So now we are going to use a command called tr. So which means that the translate and add another delimiter which is -d to remove the colon. Thus the result is in valid form of IP address that we can be used for IP sweep. So let's now talk about the script writing. So we are going to start with some basic script and add on the process. So the first line will use the declaration according to any script language, and the .h also indicate that we are running bash script. And the second line is for loop that in the sequence of 1 until 254, and it will do the third line, and that third line will be used for ping that counts to 1. So the $1 will be used input in order to ping it, and the $IP will be sequence of 1 until 254, and the fourth line will be the finish line. So in here the chmod command plus x, so chmod plus x is used to change the permission, as we all know, of the script, and we will be running the script with command which is this one dot slash. So this will put out all the information from the script that we just run, and at the end we can add the IP address that I have obtained into the file, and we can then use this information later on. So before we continue, I just wanted to improve a script a little bit, so I just did some things. So if we don't enter an input, then it will produce a list of errors. So if we don't have $1 as user input, then it will echo the error message. However, if we have an input, then it will return the second part of the coding. Now, if we don't enter any user input, then this will produce, and this will give you a error message. So then what you need to do is you need to loop in one line. So we can write a loop in line. In this loop, we are going to run through the all IP address in the iplist.txt, and then this will continue with semicolon and do nmap script with the declaration of the IP address, which is $IP. So lastly, finishing with this, we are done. And however, the script requires a root privilege. So now in here, as you can see, -p means, so this -p means the port, -ss means for stealth scan, and -t4 means the speed scan, and the t4 speed ranges are from 0 for slow and stealthy for 5. Stealthy to 5 is fast. So to solve the issue, we can switch to the root with command sudo su root and run this command, and we have, like, as you can see, 3 processes are all at once. So in the nmap, the port for the IP address list will be filtered. Then at the end, we just run like 3 nmap scans at once instead of copy paste one by one. So that's all about the writing script. So this scripting is really important if you have the chance to get into the penetration testing. So there are more advanced scripting which you can learn by yourself, exploring to the internet and watching couple of our videos, which I also talked about advanced technique of advanced scripting. So you can go and check that out. So that's all about the scripting.